the country itself is a hybrid ecosystem of transnational organized crime and terrorism aligned with Iranian interests. It really is an instrument. I'm so glad. The rule is, how do you get the public to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I learned this when I fought Wall Street. I came out at the beginning telling people, remember a year and a half ago, I was saying this is really a chain of command. The vice president are the Mexican cartels. They're the vice presidents. The president is Venezuela.
Wait. Okay, gotcha. The vice president is the Mexican cartels. And the main cartel.
The main cartel, the president cartel, is Cartel de los Soles. That's the real cartel. But then behind them, the CEO of the operation is really Iran. And the chairman of the board is China. So that's really the org chart. And now we're at the point where we are talking, we're moving up. The real problem with Venezuela is not just their shenanigans, but they are a hybrid ecosystem of organized crime and terrorism serving Iranian interests. I'll give you 10 examples we can walk through. It's kind of shocking how this has happened right across the Caribbean Sea. First of all, their military technology transfer. So Venezuela is now manufacturing drones and anti-ship missiles, and drones that can reach the United States and like missed Houston or missed Miami with something, and anti-ship missiles, so they can sort of dominate shipping in the Caribbean. Uranium supply. People know a very large 75,000-ton uranium deposit has been discovered in a Roraima basin in Venezuela. It's just what the Iranians want for their nuke program. There's a whole system for invading. Now, stop me if you want me to stop on any of these 10 points. I can give you more detail. But there's a whole system, a whole system for evading sanctions on Iran that runs through Venezuela and a program called Fonden. It's a $2 billion program that acts as sort of a sanctions terrorism. Hamas and Hezbollah have turned the wonderful Isla Margarita. 25 years ago, one of the many who got away was this beautiful Venezuelan girlfriend, and she used to tell me about Isla Margarita and how it has become the playground. It is all the college kids go to Daytona Beach for spring break. Spring break for Hamas and Hezbollah, but especially Hezbollah, is Isla Margarita. It's basically Isla Hezbollah. It is, but beyond that, there's all these terrorist training facilities. And Hamas, somebody laughed, like one of the lefties in America laughed about when somebody recently referred to Hamas being in Venezuela. How could that? No, Hamas is absolutely, it's their foot in Venezuela. Energy and oil cooperation. Get this, industrial front projects. When Iran wants to acquire something that's on the sanction list for its nuclear technology, it's acquired. It may be a company. There's all kinds of ways that Venezuela steps in. One of them on nuclear technology is the CNC machines, which are like computer controlled, very precise manufacturing machines. I used to work in that field. Argentina buys them. Then they get bought out of Venezuela, and then they get transshipped to Iran. So that's how Iran gets around. They have whole industrial projects in Venezuela that look like milk factories or plastic factories, but are really nothing more than a way of buying certain ingredients and diverting them for Iranian mischief. Transportation, it's the logistics hub of terrorism is Venezuela. Diplomatic alignment. And here's something really important we should know. Iran has, Iran has really perfected oppression, how you keep the crowd down. The Iranian regime is extremely unpopular. People go out and protest. And for example, when I was last there were snipers that would shoot men in the groin if you're in the protest, and women in the face or the throat. And women sort of had a special fear of getting shot there. And you do that a few protests and kind of they take care of themselves. They also have rent-a-moms. They have their own, like Antifa, but it reports to the government, basically like under Biden. And the Antifa, the black shirts, would show up and rough up students who tried to all of these techniques have been taken by Iranian Revolutionary Guard, have moved to Venezuela, and they've taught it to the Venezuelan police and military. So they've adopted these techniques to keep their people oppressed. So just like in the Islamic Republic of Iran, no one can protest for democracy. You can really, And you can maybe take off your hijab or show a little bit of hair, but you can't really. That's what they've done in Venezuela, using all these IRGC techniques and officers. There's all of these IRGC officers in Venezuela teaching the police there how to do this. So who needs that in our hemisphere? Who needs that? And it's a threat to us. Iran operating right on our shoulders and training terrorists and sending them into the U.S. and stuff, building drones that can reach into the U.S. territory. It's insane.